You guys might remember very recently, Gnomonkey put out a video talking about, actually, let's pull it up here now. And if you guys have anything to comment on this, please do. I'm happy to see the discussion. I believe there's a video coming soon, but right now, Gnomonkey put out a video recently that I played a Jagex. You guys remember seeing this? Nearly 100k views in just over a week. Insane, really good numbers. Now, he argues that the mechanical depth isn't there anymore in new content until the recent Leviathan at least. We saw the Blood Torver. Blood Torver second place. That guy cheated, remember? Second place cheated because he did it. He killed the Leviathan with thralls. He didn't freeze it at all with Smoke Barrage, which was a bit sus. But now, high-level community has been trying to do a thrall-only, no-freezing Awakened Leviathan. And there's a plugin that's been around for quite a while now. I believe for about 2 years. It's been around. It's a visual sounds plugin. And what happens is, basically, I'll show you the clip here of Gnomonkey using it so we can all get the right context. Okay, this is the clip. This is on a normal Leviathan. Notice how the number is changing and changing color because of the sound, the audio cue, and you just click the prayer based on it. Because the attacks are so fast that you can't even, you can't do this. This isn't humanly possible to do without like some sort of assistance like that. Four in a row. He's not even looking at Leviathan. You can't see Leviathan on his screen. And then, you know, eventually gets hit. But that was four in a row without getting hit once. 4 in a row. Now, Jagex has taken that plugin and asked for it to be removed because he said, Jagex has said that goes against the policy, the plugin policy for the game. So Jagex has now removed that plugin, okay? I believe the developer of that plugin is currently working on a fix so that it's only accessible. I think it's on here. Maybe not. I think it was on the other Reddit post that got deleted by the mods. But I believe that the developer of the plugin is actually trying to make it so it only works in certain areas. So you can't do that. Because to my understanding, provided everything is off tick in the Inferno, you could just turn on auto retaliate with a bow or a T-bow, and you can just zoom in on your character and change prayers all day. This guy here, before we get into this guy, this idiot here is essentially just complaining that it's been blocked by Jagex, and as a result, he just says anyone that disagrees doesn't understand, which makes him an idiot. It's a step behind, like, all it would take is for a bit of coding for this box to automatically move above the prayer, and then it's definitely some Guitar Hero shit. But otherwise, in my opinion, that's cheating. Okay, Jagex has removed it because it violates the policy for plugins, which makes sense as well, because he's not even looking at the boss. The Leviathan isn't even on his screen, man, at all. What does no need all these plugins when the game is already so easy? That's a discussion we can have a little bit later. Just in the meantime, I just think that if you don't even need to see the boss, like, that is enough to tell you that that is not okay. Now, this guy here, Saxapilla, don't know who he is. He has 65 followers, so, I mean, he's a nobody anyway, but we could talk about him anyway. I haven't read this yet, but I'm going to read it. We can have a read together and see what he says. Daniel, what's Daniel said? 100%. Best players use no plugins. I use very little plugins, I would say, at least. I think using Runelight is just performs better in general. Some people say use the vanilla client. I think using the vanilla client is just straight up no. The vanilla client is shit. Like, it just doesn't perform well. It's really poorly optimized. The Steam client arguably is the middle ground, but we'll discuss plugins and uses of that in a minute. I just want to go through this Twitter post and see what you guys think as well, based on what this idiot is saying. So this is since Jagex has banned the plugin and said don't take it off take it off of Runelight. And he says Jagex just removed the visual sounds plugin, very likely only because me, Gnomonkey, and whoever this person is, Noob Type, were using it to make no stun Awakened Leviathan somewhat more feasible to complete. GZ to Noob Type on actually completing it. All the plugin effectively did was move the part to pay attention to on your screen from the boss to right next to the prayer book. There were no inputs made for us. No info given to us earlier than we could have deducted or at all deduced. The comparison to Guitar Hero is unfair. That plugin, unlike visual sounds, would keep in queue the prayer you need to click the song and show them sliding down onto your protection prayers, but it is showing you the color, right? It's still showing you the color and which to press, and you know the timing. All you need to know is the timing, and you can just click the prayers, right? It times when you've got to start clicking it. So while it doesn't physically have a slider for the Guitar Hero plugin going over mage, over range, I don't know if you guys have seen that plugin. It's quite insane. All it's doing is saying, okay, click mage, and then click range, and then click melee. It's just telling you when to click it. Instead of it being over the top, click it now, it's click it when it goes blue. It's essentially the same thing, in my opinion at least. They would highlight the prayers themselves, no deductions from color necessary. Kind of, I would say the fact that it changes color and number would tell you exactly what prayer to click. And stop me if you think I'm wrong, guys. The plugin would not work the way we were using it anywhere else. Jad doesn't have a range sound early enough, that's understandable. Nothing in game has a 0-tick attack speed. Switching prayers when you see the visual sounds, number change was too early and resulted in you getting hit. I would say it would not take a lot for someone to figure out the timing. Like if you know 4 ticks, if you know how long 4 ticks are, you could definitely take advantage of the plugin regardless, right? Absolutely. He's got this plugin, he's got this plugin, excuse me, was that English? I'm cooking, I'm trying to cook a little bit, yeah. Weren't this the reason all the other clients were bannable in the first place? Because the plugins like this? Looking at that, the way that works, to me, that's just cheating, straight up. Like, the Guitar Hero plugin will have boxes coming down the prayer book, and you click mage when it hits mage, like Guitar Hero. All this is doing instead is blue, click mage. It's green, click range. It's red or orange, click melee. It's essentially the same thing. The timing isn't there. It doesn't have to be there. You just click it when it goes blue. The timing is done. You could have it work for Jad, where if it doesn't play a mage sound, you know it's range. You could. I don't know. I've not tried the plugin, but to say that it's not like the Guitar Hero plugin is incredibly fucking naive, in my opinion. This is the Gnomonkey, by the way. This is the other guy. What else have we got here? I feel like most people criticizing the plugin either don't understand how it worked and such, or have a distaste that we're paying attention to a menu and not a boss. It was functionally identical. Now we can only pay attention to audio cues as there's simply not enough time. Well, that's the point. That's the point of the audio cues. That's the point of the content being difficult. And I don't want to, you know, even though it wasn't this guy's video, it was Gnomonkey's video, that's the mechanical depth you're going to have to try and sort yourself out, you know, sort learning without using a plugin that pretty much eliminates that mechanical depth high-level players so desperately want and they're asking for, right? I think that's that's common sense in my opinion. You're banned. Dude is typing an SA to protect his plugin. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. This isn't even his plugin. It's just one he uses, I guess. The audio cues, by the way, we swapped using the Sound Swapper plugin. Jagex didn't make the original Leviathan Orbs sound distinct or fast enough to allow enough recognition time at 0 tick speed. You know why? This guy's like, Jagex didn't do Leviathan's sound fast enough to allow recognition. You know why? Because there's a mechanic where you freeze him with a shadow spell, which allows you to continue the fight by shooting him in the back, and he does a special. That's fucking why. That'd be exactly why Jagex has done that. Has that ever crossed your mind fucking once? Can you explain 0 tick? Essentially, so basically the attack is hitting you before it's humanly possible to know what the attack's going to be. The only way you could physically do this, really, in my opinion, is if you're lucky and you just guess correctly every time. Like, you're choosing to try and get around the boss fight. It's clearly not possible yet, at least anyway, with the current gear in the game or the current skill level. The plugin is being removed because Jagex says it goes against the plugin policy. Totally fucking understandable. Like, what else needs to be said? Right? Making something barely humanly feasible shouldn't constitute cheating. Well, it's not barely humanly feasible. You just freeze it with the shadow spell. I get you're trying to do a no stun Awaken Leviathan, but guess what? You fucking can't. You know why you can't? One, it's not humanly feasible, and two, I guess you're just too shit to do it. Accept it. You're too shit for a no stun Leviathan without this plugin. Everyone's too shit. That's the fact. Use fucking shadow spells, get the fuck over it. That's the game that we've got. That's the content we've got. That's how Jagex has designed it. That's how Jagex wants it. And you know what? It's, so... Jagex is nipping it in the butt before a snowball effect happens. If this happens too often, if this goes on long enough and it's the normal to use that plugin to do Leviathan, if say, luckily this is like a week or 2 weeks into the quest, right? Into the bosses. If this was 6 months down the road and people have been doing it for 6 months, then they wouldn't be cancelling it, right? Take prey flicking, for example. Prey flicking was never an intended mechanic. Red Xing was never an intended mechanic. But players have done it for so long, and that has become the normal, and it's become a habit for a seriously long, for an extended period of time, that Jagex can't take it out of the game without fucking over the majority of players and fucking the meta and just absolutely ruining a lot of people's game. They're nipping this in the butt now, before it becomes a problem, before it becomes the norm, and before it becomes the standard, and it goes against, well, it goes against what Jagex intended the boss to be. If they nipped Red X in the butt straight away and you couldn't do it in Bandos and you couldn't do it in Bubba, we'd have a completely different raid, we'd have a completely different God Wars experience, and we wouldn't care because it got taken out in week 2. But because it took years for them to get rid of, for them to catch on to Red Xing, it was too late. So I think the fact that Jagex is nipping this fucking plugin right now and saying, no, you can't do that, then that's good. Absolutely. Just stop it now, before it becomes mass-produced, essentially. So I think Jagex has done the right thing. And if you don't like it, well, shit. Next week, who cares anyway, right? We'll move on. They might make changes to the boss to make it more feasible as an alternative. Who knows? Next week, the week after, Jagex might make changes to Leviathan so that you can do these no-stun Leviathan kills. And if they do that, that's great. Awesome. But at the end of the day, this guy's just crying because he's a moron. That's what I'm taking away from it. And that plugin is insane. Watching Gnomonkey do that is insane, that you don't even have to look at the boss. You can just zoom in and AFK. That tells me that provided everything is off tick in the Inferno, for example, you could AFK in the middle of auto retaliate on and send it. What is Red X? We can discuss it after. I want to go through this and then we can discuss it after. It's a method people use mostly in God Wars Dungeon, but also in the Bubba puzzle room to stall the NPC by using the Red X. Like when you click on something in game, you have yellow X's or red X's, they're using the red X, there's spaghetti code behind it that like stalls certain monsters, animations, and attacks. There's a whole system behind it, which we can look at. Yeah, it makes sense. If you do 6-node Bandos, you can see it and understand why and how it works. Is there nothing that hits through Prey in Inferno? I have 0 idea. No, if you Prey flick perfectly in Inferno, you can go all the way through, taking 0 damage. How much do you get from Job Seema? I don't know what that means. The audio cues, by the way, we swap using Sound Swapper, of course. Yep, making something barely humanly feasible shouldn't constitute cheating. That needs to be immediately dealt with. It should, absolutely. Within just a day of streaming attempts. It absolutely should. That's called, that's called, what's that called? That's called, I guess, developing your game and protecting its integrity. I think that, understandably, right? You know, it's not like they're not being banned for cheating as far as I know, but the plugin's been deemed as cheating and it's being removed, and within days of attempts. They shouldn't wait a week or a month and then get onto it. OSRS is a community that loves self-imposed challenges. What happened to the spirit of that? I think that's a little bit different. Self-imposed challenges is not creating plugins to get around content that you shouldn't be getting around. Even if you, as a purist, don't... Well, no, sorry, hold on. I skipped one. In any other game, complaints about visual and auditory clarity would be addressed quickly and not spark discussion. This game has way too many unreasonably purist players. Must be PTSD from RS3 days or jealousy. Sorry. Let me read that again. In any other game, complaints about visual or auditory clarity would be addressed quickly and not spark discussion. Okay. This game has way too many unreasonably purist players. Must be PTSD from RS3 days or jealousy. Jealousy. No, not save. Let's have a look at all these plugins for a second. Let's have a look at these. This cunt has highlighted the boat. Jealous. The inventory tags, jealous. The insane amount of tile markers and numbers, jealous. Is dead, jealous. Yeah. No, that looks good, dude. Yeah. People are jealous of this guy, that's for fucking sure, and his skill. Anyways, what else has he got? Even if you, as a purist, don't like the plugins, getting it removed because 3 people are attempting a self-imposed challenge is an extremely shitty thing to do. It's like a toddler stealing another's toy because it can't place and neither can others. I'm done with this community. That's good. The community is done with you before they even knew who the fuck you were. Let's be real here, okay? This isn't getting it removed because 3 people are attempting a self-imposed challenge, okay? This is like, you know, maybe fixing a problem before it becomes a fucking problem, okay? This is fixing something that is clearly broke, and if we don't fix it, it's going to get even worse. It's like a leak in the roof. And if you leave the leak in the roof, you know what, eventually it's probably going to become, guess what, a bigger leak, and eventually that bitch is going to cave in. So, this guy has no fucking clue what he's talking about. He's completely unaware, and I don't know how anyone could look at this plugin in their right mind. You can even tell when Gnomonkey's using it. He's, like, watch this bit here again, okay? Watching it. He's using it. How can you sit here and tell me that this is telling you what to pray? You can't tell me there's no timing involved. You see the color change, you click it. Okay? He doesn't look at the boss. You can't even see the boss attacking. That is bizarre to me. He's just using it. And you can tell right now, even Gnomonkey here. Is it this part here? This part here? See, look, even that looks just like, it's ridiculous that you can't do this. Right? So while this cunt is fucking crying on this post all over here, even Gnomonkey is clearly just, like, you can tell that he knows that this is bullshit. I don't know if Gnomonkey is necessarily advocating to keep this plugin. By the sounds of it, he is. Because from what I've seen, this is extremely knee-jerk. A video is cooking. This is where disabled visual sounds. Jagex has requested this be removed due to violating the prayer switching indicators rule. It effectively allows you to be told what prayer to use based on game sounds, which is a direct violation of our policy. Well, there's your answer. In my mind, that's it. Cool. Open and shut case. The plugin is not allowed. You're not getting it back. Surely he's thanking Jagex for keeping the game suitably hard. Well, maybe. I think I'm looking forward to this video. I want to see it. I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know what he's going to do. Krebus says he shouldn't make the video. I disagree. I think he absolutely should because it's free content for all of us. So I'm hoping that a video comes out of it and we can absolutely look at it for sure. I don't know when that's coming. Not yet. So we'll be keeping an eye on Gnomonkey's page. If you guys see a video from Gnomonkey, please let me know. We will be looking at that immediately on stream. We need to see what's going on. I think that'd be awesome. But like, to be honest, I think that especially this fucking monkey here, this guy, Saxapilla, and all of this, like, no one is agreeing with this idiot. I hope these two, what's this guy, noob osrs, noob type, and Gnomonkey, I hope they're not on the same boat as this guy, because this is the most ridiculous fucking take I've ever seen. This is ridiculous that people are actually liking this shit. You know, what the fuck is this, man? Help me understand, please. The plugin is moving the visual indicator from boss's head to plugin menu. With this plugin, is the boss doable without sounds or without seeing the boss? Is this boss still possible to pray against by visual without sound or plugin? Absolutely no response, unfortunately. I think this guy, like, just doesn't have a clue. It's insane to me. I've heard there's been some backlash from the deaf community over the removal of this plugin. Never seen this plugin before, Gnomonkey's video. How big is the fucking deaf community? Like, where did you hear that from? That's also, like I said earlier, you gotta remember that the creator of this plugin is changing it so it only works in certain places. It won't work in certain places. I don't know if there is a dev community of RuneScape, but yeah. Blind OSRS players are furious? Yeah, I bet they are, dude. Yeah, I thought you mistyped dev. No, he meant dev community, 100%. All the streamers use cheats and think they're good at the game, fucking idiots. Look, I think we can also talk about the plugin situation, right? I think there's nothing wrong with using RuneLite. I don't think RuneLite's a cheat client. I think as long as the plugins are available to you on RuneLite, you're good to use them free of charge. You're not a cheater. Okay, the plugin was available. It's not anymore. Jagex got on top of it. That's it. End of story. You have no fucking grounds to stand on there. Jagex has a say. Jagex moderates it, and we should be thankful that they do. I mean, that's fine. You think tile markers are borderline? No, I think that's totally fine. I also agree that tile markers, there's certain plugins, tile markers, true tile indicator, you know, inventory tags, things like that. They can be seen as assistance, but they're not cheating. I don't think they're cheating at all. There's definitely a level of skill that goes into the game without them. The tile markers are on the official client. They are, yes, absolutely. It's good they didn't start banning people. Well, why would Jagex would not be in the right place to ban people, because I think anyone using this plugin before Jagex banned it, getting banned for that wouldn't be fair. It's up to Jagex, it's their responsibility to check those plugins, right? That's why they're stopping it now. Wasn't Jagex checking every plugin coming into RuneLite before they're allowed to release it? I believe that plugin's been in the game for about 2 years. I think that plugin's been on RuneLite for a couple of years. But it's not been used for the purpose of prey flicking. It's been used for the purpose of, to my understanding, I believe people have been using it to remove sounds from the game that they don't want to hear. For example, Blood Reavers are really loud. Maybe the Armadyl Crossbow spec. They want to have game sounds on, but they don't want to hear that giant screech. So they're using that plugin to remove certain sounds, and it gives off audio cues, and then somehow they're using that to... I don't know how it works, okay, the science behind it. That's just what I've gathered. From the situation. Here's the comment about it being disabled on the GitHub page. This is that this post is linking to. Jagex have requested it would be removed for violating the prayer switching indicators rule. Yep, that's against the rules. It effectively allows you to be told what prayer to use based on game sounds, which is a direct violation of our policy. Makes sense, right? Here's my reply to another comment on how it was being used. Check out Gnomonkey's stream from about 24 hours ago. If it's still up, it was set up as a box above the protection prayers that would display the sound's ID from Leviathan's attacks. He had the IDs color-coded to the attack that was being used, so that he just had to look at the color and text, what the color of the text was, and click the corresponding prayer. So that makes sense. That's straight up, that's prayer indicators. That's a prayer switching indicator, right? Absolutely. Why is Blake Hatcher being a fucking loser? What's wrong with you, dude? Shut up. No one cares. Just wanted to say thank you for your short on primordials. I don't have them, but your advice towards the game applies towards life in general, and I needed to hear that. No worries, dude. Anytime. You can see the color of the fucking attacks, cunt. They aren't deaf or blind. That's also true. It's got nothing to do with the deaf community, in my opinion. I think, now that I think about it, yeah. There may be like 3 deaf people. Well, to be honest, this, in my opinion, looking at this has nothing to do with being deaf. Because you can see that. So I guess removing it means that deaf people now can't tell, I guess. But, I don't know. They're working on a fix, so let them cook, you know? Deaf people can't even hear it, yeah. What's the difference between something like this and a Hunlef plugin that literally speaks to you? They removed that plugin, I think, right? And gave a different, measure to it. Correct? The Hunlef making that sound? The Hunlef plugin, didn't they remove that? The one with Perb telling you what to pray? What's the difference? I think... You're talking about the one with Perb, yeah? Where he's like 2, 1, cringe? Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I've never been a fan of that plugin, if I'm honest with you anyway. I've never used it. I've always thought it's really shit. It's on a timer. It's on a timer, right? And isn't it, if you get stomped, it's actually fucked, right? If you get stomped, don't you have to click a button to reset it? It's a timer, right? Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, if you get stomped, it has to reset the time, yeah. So it's not actually detecting the Hunlef's attack. It's not reading the Hunlef saying, okay, now pray this. If you get stomped, you fuck up. So I guess it's kind of like... It's not as fucking intense as this, in my opinion. I think if you use it, you're shit anyway, let's be fucking honest. So because it's on a timer, that probably is a little different. That's not really a prayer switch indicator as such, because it's not, I don't know, mate. It depends where you draw the line. It's a bit of a grey area, but it seems to be allowed. Similar to the Zuxet timer. I guess that's fair, yeah. Zuxet timer, yeah. Same as finding a song and tempo, the same tempo. Is finding a song the same tempo. Oh, with the same tempo, right, I get you, yeah. Doesn't make the fight much easier, to be honest. No, it's just kind of weird, to be honest. I think that plugin sucks completely. Yeah, so going through this Reddit post still, you can pray high-end you can play high level PVM with ease. It's the difference between playing guitar and playing Guitar Hero. I don't think so. No, I think this is as close to the Guitar Hero plugin as you're going to get on Moonlight, in my opinion. Like, the fact that people are saying, oh, it's not the same timing. Well, we know this is pretty much one tick. So the timing is one tick. We know the timing. You just have to know the color now. That's it. Matt, thank you for the 21 months, dude. Thank you. Appreciate that, you legend. Major cap that most people complaining are genuinely coming from a place or it's more for the disabled community, not because they want it removed for their own benefit. I don't think it matters. Like, who gives a fuck about the disabled community? Let's be honest. At this point, with this plugin, it's got nothing. Like, we didn't care about the disabled community before this plugin. Let's stop pretending like we fucking do now. Alright, the plugin needs to be changed to suit the policy and then back into the game if people really want it for that purpose. Let's not beat around the fucking bush. Alright, let's be real here. To some degree, you cannot simply change the game so much to accommodate for everyone. Gear swapping macros helps those with limited mobility. There's gear swapping macros? I didn't know that. Racist against disabled? No, it's just like you have to just accommodate to both parties, right? You have to be, just because there's a disabled community doesn't mean plugins for the disabled community can break the fucking rules. No, they still have to follow the rules like everyone else. Distinguishing audio is a key skill when fighting the boss. Removing that is cheating. Absolutely, I think bosses in this game, gaming, high-level PVM in this game is significantly harder with sound off. I agree. Absolutely. Surely we should just allow that because of them. You said, I don't think there are gear swapping macros, so yeah, no, we shouldn't allow it. Absolutely not. I think this is a big win for Jagex. I think Jagex has done a good job, like, attacking this straight away, for sure. This guy is a fucking moron that has, like, no social skills, as you can tell, based on him not understanding how to, like, I guess, have a discussion with essentially himself and the rest of Twitter and not shoot himself in the fucking foot because he doesn't think about anything but himself and the way he wants to play the game. Guess what? The way you're playing the game is essentially wrong to the game's integrity and also very niche and shit. So, any Gnomonkey video yet, please? Not yet. Definitely a W in the bag for Jagex, in my opinion. If I was in a wheelchair, I couldn't run a marathon. Some people just have shit luck. This is an accessibility argument. Yeah, I think it's fair. Absolutely. If it stayed in the game, I'm sure you can manipulate it for other items in-game rather than the bosses. Free AHK plugin for PKs. Maybe not so much for AHK for PKs. But there's definitely ways people can manipulate it for sure. Harlow Turd. Nice name. Thank you. Welcome to the membership, dude. I appreciate it. Just some more shit. I don't really know what's going on here. I don't care about magic tree sounds. Like, this is all just people coping at the moment. Why removing a plugin that greatly benefits people with disabilities just because of one dramatic example? So I think this is all before the developer. Let me find the other Reddit post. If it hasn't been... Which one's this? Because I've got two here. Visual sound plugin disabled by Jagex request. At the request of Jagex. So this one's been removed by the mods. I'm the original developer of this plugin. Despite the rumors on Twitter, this genuinely was developed to improve accessibility of the game and not as a cheap way for killing Leviathan. The plugin dates back over 2 years ago when I found I didn't want to play with game sounds on but needed certain audio cues to play efficiently. I've had multiple people reach out to me from the deaf community who have said it's improved their gaming experience, so it's sad to see it get removed because of this. Good news is that there should be an update coming soon which will disable the plugin in certain areas which hopefully should make it compliant, which I think is great. I think that's the perfect fix right there. If Jagex can allow it, provided it doesn't work in certain areas so that it makes sense for people to continue using that plugin that benefit from it, I think that's totally fine. I don't think there should be a problem using it while you're fucking woodcutting. Shouldn't be a problem at all. But if you're using it to manipulate prayer switches, absolutely get rid of it. Don't you not think? Saxapillo. I did call, yeah. I think you're a moron. This tweet is narrow-minded and shit. Fun fact. I don't think this is very well constructed. If that is the real you, at least, anyway. So, I think, yeah, that's a big dub by the developer there. Absolutely huge. For sure. That's the best way to go about it. If Jagex can approve it and put it back in the game, then it's a win. What part do you have an issue with? I think the part that... Oh, fuck, that means I've got to go through this again. Can I not just get you to watch the video after? Wouldn't that be easier? That means I've got to stretch this bitch out even longer for these people. Try for the well-constructed bit. What constructed bit? All of it? Essentially, yeah. I think for the most part, I can't remember how I summarized it now. Essentially, I think you're trying to play a game here that, like... So, Jagex getting rid of this plugin... because of the way that you guys are using it, like in this clip here, right? So this is cheating. Look at this. Tell me that isn't cheating. That's bullshit. It's not Guitar Hero, but it may as fucking well be. It's telling you what to press. Alright? The timing's not there, but you know it's one tick. It's cheating. Straight up. Why is it cheating? Well, because it's indicating what prayers to pray. Which goes against the plugin policy, which is no prayer indicators. Right? That's prayer indicators right there. What would you call it? Leviathan's orb indicate the prayers to pray? Yep. But that requires you, like, he's not even looking at the boss. This is a plugin that's indicating what prayer to pray. You don't understand the point? So the point is that there's a policy, and Jagex has this policy for people to basically, they're like rules, right? Like at, you know, primary school, no running on the concrete, no hat, no play, you know, rules. So you follow the rules, and everything somewhat has some sort of balance, and everything seems fair within the eyes of the community to a certain extent, right? A little bit of a democracy, but still. So by following these rules, people have a fair advantage and the integrity of the game isn't ruined. So Jagex has this policy in place, and what this does, this plugin, is actually breaks one of those rules in the policy, because what it's doing is it's a plugin that's indicating what prayer to pray without looking at the boss, without having the sound on for the boss, without anything, right? So therefore, it's not acceptable, and Jagex has removed it. Can we see the policy? Oh, we could try to find it, yeah. I would like to see it. Third-party client guidelines. This is for RuneScape 3, and here we go. Shit. Does someone want to go through and find it for me so I don't have to sit here scrolling? We can have a look. Is that acceptable to you? Is what acceptable to me? That Jagex enforces their rules? Absolutely, yeah. Oh, sorry, the rules are vague and apply to other plugins as well. Manually triggered Gauntlet Helper, plugin 321. Yeah, but it's on a timer, to be fair. So we were talking about this earlier. I think that's definitely not to the extent. This is literally like lining up the queue for you without any assistance. The other one is on a timer that you have to reset if you fuck up. I think that is a gray area when we're talking about that plugin. It's a bit, if you're using that plugin, you're shit anyway, but that's not really the point. Indicates what prayers to pray without looking at the boss or turning sound on. They've incorporated their own version of that plugin now, so that's, I think, is totally fine. Do you not agree that they've incorporated their own plugin, or their own, I guess, system with the Hunlift making a noise for you? Can we find it on here by any chance? Is anyone able to find this for me? Here's the link. If someone can go through and quickly just point out the plugin policy for prayer indicators. There we go. Indicates where projectiles will land. Indicates the time where a boss mechanic may start or end. Adds additional visual or audio indicators of a boss mechanic, except in cases where it is a manually triggered external helper, which is... Sorry, adds additional... So here's a large list of specific feature examples which are unacceptable. This is still not exhaustive, but should give a clear idea of what not is acceptable. Adds additional visual or audio indicators of a boss mechanic, except in cases where it is a manually triggered external helper, which would imply the Gauntlet one, right? That's manually triggered. There you go. Done. That's your Gauntlet one there. Indicates what prayer to use, in what order, for example, the Cerberus boss fight. That's not allowed. Feel like getting a feel for it gives a little more insight. What do you mean by getting a feel for it? Have you attempted Zero-Tick Leviathan without plugins? Yes, I die pretty quickly. Yeah. I pretty much get blasted off the fucking map almost immediately. It's very true. Most players do. Zero-Tick Leviathan is not fun. It took me, yes. That's the answer. There's no better way to explain it. I get fucked. But guess what? I've got a tip though. There is a way around it. You're gonna love this. You're gonna kick yourself, right? You're gonna kick yourself for this one. But Zero-Tick Leviathan, there is a way around it without the plugin. Okay? What you do is you enable the ancient spellbook. All right? You get yourself some smoke spells or shadow spells, whatever the fuck one it is. Shadow spells. All right? Is it shadow or smoke? Whatever it is, and you cast it on him. Barrage phrases him. And what that does is it actually pauses the fight. You shoot him in the back, and then continue. And that way you don't have to worry about the Zero-Tick mechanics. So don't do my self-imposed challenge. Oh no, you can do your self-imposed challenge all you want. Just don't use this plugin because it violates the rules. Do you understand? So the key thing to take away from this is that this breaks the rules. That's why Jagex removed it, and that's good because that means they're doing their job. Now, what I said earlier as well, which you might agree with and might help you understand better, is that if this was 6 months later and people were doing this for 6 months, it might be a little harder for them to take it away from the community. Because in my opinion, I think that things like prayer flicking and red Xing, which are accidental mechanics, which are now the normal in the game, they were accidents. Jagex can't remove them. They accidentally did with red Xing once, if you remember. They can't remove that today because it has become such a normal way to play this game. It's become mechanically part of the game structure, right? Now, it's a little bit different here because I think this is a plugin, but the fact that they're nipping this in the butt now, it's not because, wow, 3 people are using it, we've got to take away their ball, like, you know, whatever you said, some example of it being a toddler. No, this is called seeing a problem and stopping it before it becomes a bigger one. This is especially the Awakened Leviathan, is incredibly hard content. It's some of the most prestigious content in the game, getting Blood Torva, right? So if Jagex just allows this plugin and makes it acceptable, where do you draw the line then? If they put their foot down and say no now, this makes it more clear for people in the future and allows us to all understand that they are enforcing the policy, and that is where we stand on plugins like this. You could argue it's very grey area, but at the end of the day, it's broken the rules and they've removed it, and I don't think they've done anything wrong by removing it. If you feel like it's an attack on you and your playbase and your playstyle, to be honest, no, it's not. The same people got their CAs with a cheat client. Most people got their Zuck helmets with cheat clients before the big client wipe. We know this. Like, most content creators did. It's in all their fucking videos. How many content creators do you see making Zuck helmet progress videos and they're running around with Venge highlighted over their teammates? That was bannable at the time of that being done. It's not anymore, but it was at the time. Fucking every creator does it, man. Everyone's done it. So, like, there's no... You say ruffle, but, like, you can go through and watch half of the videos. It's all there, man. People do it. You just get banned for it now, thankfully. So I think it's good that they've removed this plugin. I think Jagex has done absolutely the right thing. I'm point out that if this is breaking the rules, many others do too. Indicates which prayer to use in any combat situation. The definition of indicate is to show, point, or make clear in another way. This is so vague, it's almost funny. I'm sorry. Indicates which prayer to use in any combat situation. You got to remember, it says here, this is still not exhaustive, but should give a clear idea of what is not acceptable. Which means this isn't this isn't like flat out what it is. This is just a rough idea. And if you're doing things in or out, like if there's a gray area between these rules, it's safe to assume that it's bannable, or safe to assume that it's breaking the rules. I think that's the best way to go about it. It doesn't give a clear idea. Well, that's why they said it's not exhaustive, but should give a clear idea of what's not acceptable. Not word for word, this is it. That's why there's an argument in the first place. Well, there's no argument in the first place, because Jagex saw it and said no and removed it. That argument over. Case closed. There was no argument to be had at that point, right? It's done. And the developer is modifying it so it only works in certain places. What counts as indicating? Well, maybe the fact that the color blue is mage. Let's have a look here. Hold on. The blue is mage at 70-30. 70-40 is orange and melee, and 70-41 is ranged. And I can figure that out without using it, just by looking at the video. It's a pretty clear indicator to me. I don't know. Like, like, at this point, I think the best thing to do is to just take the L. Take the L. Right? Like, I don't know. Is visual metronomes custom square on the screen indicating what prayer to use? Is visual metronomes custom square on the... What does that mean? Visual metronomes custom square on the screen indicating what prayer to use. You mean this? In the prayer box, is that what the visual metronome? That? Yeah, that's a fucking indicator. What, are you crazy? It's changing color based on what fucking sound is there. Telling you what to pray, of course. How's that not? That's not visual metronome. So what's visual metronome then? I need a... What? Is there something else on the screen I'm missing? What's visual metronome? Why waste time arguing with this troll cheater? Well, the Twitter post that we were talking about, it's him. It's his post. So I think it's interesting to see what he has to say, right? It's a different plugin? Okay, visual metronome. I don't use many plugins, so I would know. It's a plugin that changes colors and counts server ticks. Does the color that changes, does it change color based on what you should be praying? Does it tell you what you got to pray? So if I need to pray range, it will pray range for me, or it'll tell me to pray range. It'll change color for range. No, but then no. It's not telling me what to pray. Just adds blue, red, blue, green every 600 ms. It's just red, blue, green. What? Really? It's not telling me what. This is telling me what to pray. Right? It's just a counter. It's just counting game ticks, right? And changing color every game tick. Is that it? That's not prayer indicating. Yes, you can use it to indicate what prayer to use. Example, Inferno stacks, okay? You can make it 2 different colors on odd and even ticks and would indicate the prayers you should use. Right, but you have to off tick them first, right? You have to set up the mobs, make sure they're off tick, and then you can make it pink and black. Doesn't matter, and it will be pink and black, and then when you get into rhythm, that's your rhythm, right? You can have it showing Goatsy and then showing the other end of Goatsy if you wanted. It could show fucking Pikachu for 1 tick and then show Charizard for the other game tick if you wanted. And it will do that when I'm standing at the Grand Exchange, right? Just so we're getting this right. Goats indicator, yeah, exactly. You can also play Metronome on YouTube. It's not cheating. That's completely different. That's just playing off of that is completely different to this. Doesn't automatically detect and then react accordingly. No, this is literally telling you what needs to be prayed, what's coming your way. This is changing based on what the game is doing. Gnomonkey didn't set for this to change green, red, blue, green, red, green, blue, 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 blue. Like he didn't set that up for it to do that. That's doing that based on what the monster is doing, right? So let me give you another example, just so you understand my point a bit further. Okay, back to your visual metronome in the Inferno. Okay, say you've got the Major and the Ranger stacked up. Okay, I've got a video coming as well. It's going to be cool, awesome. That'd be good. Don't leave though. Don't be a coward. Stay here. Just chill your ass down for a second. All right, I'm not done with you. Go ahead. I'll stay. Yeah, good man. All right, cool. All right. So say you've got the Major and Ranger stacked up behind the pillar. Okay, I'll bring up paint so you get a better picture. Okay. All right, here you go. This is the Inferno. This is your pillar. Okay. All right, and you're standing here in the middle as you should be. And then you've got your Major here, all right? And you've got your Ranger here, okay? No, that should be green, okay? And now you've got a timer set, okay? You step out, obviously attacking the Ranger, so it's Range Mage, right? Range Mage, Range Mage. That's your timing, done. But you've got a plugin that's going green, blue, and it's going back and forth, right? Green, blue, okay? And it's gone back and forth, and that's it, okay? That's what your plugin is doing, even when you're AFK behind the pillar. That's what the visual metronome does, correct? People are hilarious saying this is cheating, by the way. It is cheating, okay? So, anyways, back to the point, Sax Pillar. Okay, pay attention, all right? Pay attention, okay? You're gonna love this one. So this is how your visual metronome works. I can AFK behind the pillar here, okay? Right here, that's me, standing still, and my metronome is going green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, correct? Now, I step out on green. So green, blue, green, blue, green, blue. And the Major revives. Uh-oh, what's this? He revives a bat. Uh-oh, he revives a Melia. Now the bat gets stuck. But let's say the bat doesn't get stuck and comes around. Just for argument's sake, the bat for some reason gets sentient and comes around the side, okay? Okay? Now you got the bat hitting you as well. And the Melia digs. And the Melia's here now hitting you as well. Now you got Melia and another range on 3 tick. Does this change? Or is it still green, blue, green, blue? Even though there's now an off-tick range and a Melia. Green, blue, green, blue. Does it go black or yellow at all? Answer that. Will it go black and yellow or will it stay green and blue? Because if it stays green and blue, there's your answer. If it goes black and yellow, then yeah, it's cheating. Should be banned. But I guarantee you, it doesn't go black and yellow. It'll stay on green and blue and grey and blue, green and blue. It stays. Exactly my point. Therefore, that is completely different to what this is. 110% different. Correct? Am I wrong, chat? I know my drawing's terrible, but the explanation is tick perfect. Gnomonkey should play on vanilla if he thinks against it. He's playing the Steam client. That'd be cool to see. Yeah. I'm wrong? Wait, me? I'm wrong? It's very simple. What Gnomonkey is doing is using a plugin to pass the data from the boss that was not intended to be passed. Yeah, in a way, hence making it bannable. Yep. Now, this video better just be Goat's view. I'm not watching it. His video better be? I hope so. Sax, are you there? Or can I move on? Lucifer, thank you for joining the membership. You're a legend. Thank you. Welcome back. Jagex launcher is C++, so no need for Steam. Yeah, it's true. The data is being recontextualized. You're here? Are you going to fucking respond to my paint drawing here? Do you know how much work I put into this? It's hard to argue in text. Right, but it's a yes or no question. If the bat and the melee spawn and come around and start attacking me, does the indicators in the top left here stay green, blue, green, blue? Will the indicators here change based on the melee attacking me? I just need an answer, yes or no. Yes, the indicators continue to flick between two colors. Then there's your answer. You're wrong, you're an idiot. It's that simple. I will be saving this in the paint file. This is beautiful. It's been one for the books for sure. Inferno flicking. Sorry, you don't need to be sorry. It's okay. It's hard when you come up against the king. It really is. You don't think that's relevant? What do you mean you don't think it's relevant? You're the one that fucking mentioned the plugin. You questioned the metronome plugin. You're like, was that bannable because it does the play flicks? Like, what? No, that's me. Yes. You never said it. I never said I resigned. What? Chuck totally has the win. Oh no. Anyways, guys, until we see a Gnomonkey video, apparently Sax is going to put a video out as well. For the argument's sake, I'm absolutely going to watch it. We will have a look at it until that happens. If someone wants to give it on the Gnomonkey channel, I'd love to see what he has to say, for sure. Same with Sax. But that's the discussion really over for now, in my opinion. I don't think we have too much to discuss. No one watches Sax. Well, I mean, we're going to watch it anyway, because I think it would be wrong to talk about this post and have this discussion with him now and not talk about his video, right? That would be bad for me on my part. I think I would be not doing him justice. That wouldn't be very fair for me as a reactor, but also just as a creator, right? So I think, hop on Discord surely? No, I don't have any interest in hopping on Discord with people. So until then, we will just leave this where it is. Wait until some videos pop up. We'll do some hardcore Ironman content. I nearly got PK twice down the hardcore boys, I ain't gonna lie to you. And yeah, until then, it's been fun. My opinion might change as the new videos come out and discussions on the topic happen. But until then, if you agree with me, comment below, because I'm gonna go back to streaming now. And if not, thank you for watching. Anyway, let's do some Runescape content. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge. You got a big boy.